Cheers to an optimistic Monday retail trading team. This is your routine debrief. We're going to start today's cool down by reviewing my results. Okay, so it was a flat day for me. Obviously, we always want those nice bright green days, but this one was flat. And what happened was I had the bullish assumption in the morning. If you read the newsletter, you saw I was pretty bullish. However, I played that false break at that 38.05 level in ES near that prior day high, and my execution was poor. So I tried to do one of my in the money false break spreads, and it didn't work out. And what that actually did is it erased the profits from the playbook trade earlier in the day. And I've been watching that false break trade a good amount. And if you look at my trade log on that warm-up document toward the bottom, and you look back at those drawdowns, they came from those in the money false break trades. So just kind of based on the beta test and the fact that it does add a little bit more portfolio volatility, I'm thinking of kind of going back to just the at the money spread or the static future for those trades in the future, no pun intended. And yeah, so pretty good lesson. I take it more as a little bit of tuition. Again, tuition that I didn't cost me anything, not even commissions. I was able to pay for commissions. Yet, yeah, so flat day, nothing really else to talk about there. That's what we got going on. So as we look at the zero DT landscape for tomorrow, obviously we have the big inflation data coming out this week. And before that, we have a big election. The question is it priced in? Is it not priced in? I think we can only look at the tape and do our best to analyze it going into the day. So in the newsletter, I mentioned that we had that high relative volume. You can see this big green bar here, and that RSI divergence. We scroll back on the chart here a little bit. You can see that we made a lower low in the market, higher low in RSI, and it keeps getting more and more overbought at its overbought times, which is bullish. That's a bullish RSI divergence, and that's combined with Friday's bullish engulfing candle. So if we scroll in here, ignore that arrow for now. We scroll in here nice and tight. You can see on Friday, pull up the other chart. On Friday, we had that bullish engulfing candle. So we had the continuation today. No surprise. Again, went for the false break. It didn't work out. And now what's going on is we are building time and volume above the prior month value area high. And that's what that arrow is pointing at. That blue line there, you can see it on this chart as well. We not only closed above it, but we've started to build a little bit of time and volume. And you'll see that a little better on the TPO chart. So looking at the 4-hour chart now, my attention is on the LVN we have here. We're at about 38.05. I want to see what happens when price revisits there. Are the bulls going to defend the zone, or are we going to continue back lower and perhaps retest the value area low? We're near the top, as you can see on the week. That's where this red line is here. And even the POC is up here as well. So that B shape that it created today was quite bullish, and we'll see if that continues tomorrow. So let's look at that TPO chart and see what's going on our chessboard. Okay, so I think the key thing to note here is that we're one time framing higher in the TPO. Some of these distributions have been merged just for simplicity purposes, but for several sessions now, we've been slowly one time framing higher. And I want to point out what's going on today. So again, we closed really, I think, bullish close. We extended this demand zone. So this was actually supply, if you recall, the newsletter, and it's now become a demand all the way down to that's what that yellow line here is. That's a single at near that 38.05 area. We have a wide demand zone. It's slightly wider than the immediate supply zone. I'm not reading too much into that. I think we'll have to wait for a little price exploration before we get too excited about this bull move. Yet, if you're looking at it, and you can see again that B shape is starting to build out. We'll see if it can hold, but it's there. The bulls are trying to build above that key 38.05 area, and that's really the main level I think we should be watching for tomorrow. Again, going to be volatile. We have the election tomorrow night. We have the PPI data coming out later in the week. It's going to be super volatile, but I think watching how it reacts at 35 3805 level. And then obviously as we explore higher, is going to be really helpful in producing the best trades. So the last stop on our routine debrief journey today is a volatility chart. So one point to the bears today, we'll say, or one potential glimmer of hope is that we had that bearish volatility divergence all day. Price is making higher highs, volatility is making lower highs. And at the end of the day, we had it tried to rally a little bit, but I think the key point there, just looking at it super broadly, is the fact market made a higher high, volatility made a lower high. We'll see if that continues tomorrow, but that's we got to throw the bears a little bit of a bone here, and I think that's going to be the 1 point today. And that's all we have. So we'll please stay tuned for the newsletter tomorrow. As always, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe. You can find other engagement links as well as the playbook in the bio. And I'm happy to answer questions on this video, questions directly to the newsletter, and you can also find me on Twitter there as well. And that's all I have for you today. So more tomorrow, and stay classy until then.